Hi there, it's Candy Hines, Scentsy Family Director, and I am coming to you today from the balcony of my room on the cruise ship here in St. Antigua on the Scentsy Incentive trip. I'm so excited to be here. It's been an amazing trip so far. As you can see, I just came back from the beach to make this video for you. But what I want to talk to you today about is branding. And this is a really great place to talk to you about it because having a great brand is one of the ways that you can make a big difference in your business. So let's talk about it a little bit. Now, your brand is how you consistently make people feel. When you think about your favorite brands, how do they make you feel? Starbucks, for example, they are so consistent that even without their logo, you would know if you're standing in a Starbucks because of the consistency in store design and atmosphere. They're also consistent and standardized on their drinks and their service and their team's dress, and especially how they make you feel. Do you realize that you are creating your brand every day? We have this really cool opportunity to do that, and every one of our brand is going to look a little bit different. And you can really have a strategy and be able to formulate this beautiful brand that you want. Every team and customer interaction, every social media post, each handling of a difficult situation, and again, how you make people feel are constantly molding what others' perception of your brand is. If a brand like Starbucks makes you feel special, like it's a deserved treat, like you need it, then we can do that too. And here's how. First, what do you want your brand to look like? How do you want to make people feel? Do you want to make them feel special, rewarded, loved, taken care of, like a VIP? Next, take inventory of what your current brand looks like and see where you need to make adjustments to be in line with how you want your brand to be. If your inventory tells you you're already there, consider anonymously polling current customers and teammates and see if they feel the same way. If that scares you even just a little, then keep listening on. Here are some things that we can do if we do need to make adjustments, or if it scares us or sort of terrifies us to send out a poll to our customers and teammates to see if what we feel our brand is truly what is being portrayed on the outside. So first, online, positivity. This is a really big one. Don't post negativity online. If you wouldn't send that out in an email blast to every one of your customers, to your potentials especially, and to your teammates, then why would you post it online? Because those things live forever and you can't take them back. And so you need to make sure that everything that you are posting is going to be something that you want to be part of your brand. Now, you don't have to be super flowery and say things that are unauthentic to you, because that wouldn't be your brand. It would be unauthentic. And above all, Scentsy is, an authentic brand, and they want your brand to be authentic as well. So when I say positive, I mean you just don't want to post things that you wouldn't post to all of, or share with all of your customers and teammates and potentials. And so a lot of times that is really about portraying positivity. Next is the strategy. Again, be strategic in everything you post. If you really need to get your 150 in for the month, and I know that we would never be in that situation, but if you really want to get 150 more towards your goal for the end of the month, then instead of saying, oh, I really need help getting, staying active, or, and this is good information for your team as well, or, I'm really looking for a couple people to buy a couple things. Here's my website, go to it, or whatever the case may be. Instead of that, make sure that you have a strategy behind whatever it is that you're posting. Make sure that when you are posting, that it's not selling, that instead you're a shares person. So what that means is you want to organically share how Scentsy is working in your life. You can do that through product use and blessings, and as much as possible, do that with video and photos. Ooh, that means we're leaning forward. Bye, Saint Antigua. It was a beautiful stop. Okay, you might hear a couple other blows of the ship's horn and Saint Antigua passing us behind. So if we do, we'll just pause for a second. But I'm going to keep going. So those videos and photos, they get about 50% more views than words alone. Next is consistency. Does Starbucks go through periods where they're closed for shop, or at any given time, could you go to their website or social media page and find that they've stopped sharing for, say, a couple weeks, and before that they were sharing like every hour? No, of course not. And then you can't do that either. Your presence needs to be consistent on social media. If one of your leaders were to go to your Facebook page, for example, right now, would we know that you're a consultant? Could we get to your website without scrolling for days? If not, ensure you have Scentsy listed on your employment. I like saying that I work at, and then I list my Facebook page so that it automatically links so that people can click on that, go to my Facebook page, which is going to be more rich with information. It's going to have products and direct links to my website, etc. Also, post between 50 and 50 or 80% and 20% on personal to business posts. And sometimes that's going to depend on the season that we're in. Sometimes you may feel like an 80-20 is more appropriate, and sometimes a 50-50 is more appropriate. And you can go higher the more that you are being a shares person organically versus just posting things as a salesperson. You can update your cover photo as a Scentsy photo. Create a note about joining your team that shows up on the left of your screen, and change your about info so that your website listed is your Scentsy site or blog. So many times front and downline tell me that they don't want to post social media because they're going to annoy their friends and family, and that they don't want to be sold to. And you're exactly right. Except for you are sharing and you're not selling. You're sharing excitement that you received an award in the mail. You're sharing that you are in love with the new wax mix or a product. You're sharing that your kids are helping you make samples today at home. You're sharing that you can't stop smelling your laundry. The idea here is that if you share it organically, it will not feel like a jolting advertisement when they see it in their feed. Instead, it will feel natural, and that's a great start to creating a brand that's synonymous with Scentsy or Velada. Next, when you're out and about. Now, I hear lots that there are too many consultants in town because they see so many stickers on cars. First of all, that's silly, right? You see thousands of cars in any given day, and if they see 2 cars, then all of a sudden we have a saturated market on your hands. Oh, and by the way, 90% of homes use home fragrance products, so it's unlikely that those 2 consultants have a client load of tens of thousands, right? But sometimes we can't share that. So instead, if you're branding yourself in a positive way, then it's easy to switch your mindset and your team's mindset on this. It's simply that you love when you see Scentsy logos on cars because it just reminds your customers of you, and that they need more Scentsy or need to call about hosting or should finally just join the fun on your team. Brand yourself in some way whenever you go out. a Scentsy tea, your bag, hat, jewelry, a purse or bag that's see-through with samples of catalogs in it. Whatever it is that you have, brand yourself when you go out. And when you're out, make sure that you always exchange a sample and your contact information for anything that you receive, like a receipt. Use compliments when you're out and about as a great combo starter. A great purse, well-behaved children, a great haircut, whatever it is that is genuine and authentic, use that to start a conversation. Choose lines with longer waits or cashiers or other customers that are kind of in your demographic or that you think that you could start up a conversation with. And again, when you are exchanging your info and sample information, make sure that you are always exchanging that with their contact information rather. You can do this through carrying drawing forms and say that you hold drawings every month, an old school notepad or the notes on your phone, or my very favorite, hands down, that's worked the best for me, is simply add them on Facebook. It doesn't feel intrusive, it's fast, it's simple, you have a connection with them. And what my favorite part about it is that even if the time isn't right for them right then, you will now be friends and top of mind for them when that time is right. Now there are going to be days that you don't feel like being put together when you're out. You could be having a bad day, you could be hangry, you could be sick. My recommendation is to simply not brand yourself on those days. If you're not feeling like upholding your brand, then we're moving. Do you see? We're moving. Oh, I feel the wind on my back. If you feel like that, my recommendation is to simply not brand yourself on those days. Next is business hours. Your Starbucks has the same business hours day in and out, so you should too. This will create a positive experience for your customer as well as allow you to separate business time from family time. And many of us are juggling both. But when you know that you will have 3 hours that your door is open, then you're not concentrated on getting work done, which can help you, or you are concentrated on getting things done in that specific time period. And that can also help you from spreading that work out to an 8-hour day. We all know how that feels, that we have been working all day, but we have little to show for it. So just like when we create goals for our business, we need to create goals for the things that we're doing on a smaller scale so that we are working smarter and more efficiently. Now, if you followed Christina's scalable systems training that you'll find on YouTube, then that's also a great way to manage expectations. Orders will go in on Monday, deliveries on Thursdays, etc. Next, customer service. When your customers see a Scentsy logo on a car and they think of you, what feeling do you think that they get inside? Or what do you think they tell their best friend next to them about you? Do they say, I just love her. She's always sending me free samples. She really takes care of me. She's really good at her job. She's a professional. I really think she's super friendly and she does a great job. Or is it maybe, oh, I'm so mad because I ordered something and it's been 3 weeks and she hasn't communicated, or I just messaged her and she hasn't gotten back to me. What is it that they feel when they think of you and they think of your brand? Now I want you to be really honest with yourself. If how you make them feel is not what you want, then work on ways to fix it. If one customer is coming to mind in particular that you didn't take care of, well then, when you're sending out your mail, your thank you letters, your love mail, I want you to send something random to them in the mail, thanking them for their business and their friendship. If you do feel like these are all aligned, then that's fantastic. But there'll be a time when business is booming, you're so busy, you feel like you're drowning, you lose track of this. You lose track of what it is that makes your brand and makes you you, makes customers want to work with you and people join your team. So it's important now to write those down. Write down what you're doing right and how your customers feel about your brand. And make sure that you're being a great brand ambassador and you are referring to it often and making sure that you're always upholding those values. Next is branding your team. Now, have you thought about this before? You may have thought about and heard about and read about and learned about branding yourself, but what about your team? Even if you have one person on your team, it's important to start thinking about that now. You want to create your team culture. What does your team culture or brand look like? If you're there, or if you were to choose a famous person, a Hollywood character, who would best represent your team? Is it someone that's funny, energetic, down to business, inspirational, professional? Or is it somebody scattered-brained that doesn't always do what they say? Use this celebrity or this character to constantly reflect on what your brand looks like on the outside, and that view is consistent with your team. Other tangible ways you can do this is create a logo. Create a logo that also has information on the bottom, like, we are a team that we're positive, we support each other, we're motivational, we inspire, whatever those things are. And you can make that part of your logo. And if you don't have a logo, I love using Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. You can get $5 gigs and have a logo made for you. The sun is setting, if you can't tell, behind me. So I'm going to probably start getting a little darker, but it's okay because you can watch the ocean in the background. I may even move over a little bit so you can see the ocean, since all you kind of see is shadow on the screen at this point. But it's beautiful nevertheless. Okay, something else you can do is set expectations. If you want your team to hit shooting star and sensational start, then set that expectation now. Set that expectation that if you're on our team, this is just what we do. We hit shooting star. We hit sensational start. This is what we do. And if you decide your brand is a Tom Hanks, so loyal and professional, top of his game, someone that does what they say, then own it, then constantly, evaluate this and ensure that it's really true. Use this brand to write a mission statement to further solidify your team's brand. I'm going to turn you this way so you can see more. And as your team's leader or brand ambassador, it's your job to always ensure that your brand and your team brand is in sync with what you inspire them to be. And finally, your brand will reflect your team's mission statement and values. We talked about reflecting a positive brand. Another importance of this is that you're going to be leading by example. Your front line will follow your lead. So if you're consistent, engaged, transparent, vulnerable, positive, persistent, then they will be too. So to wrap this up, I want you to really do some digging and think about your personal brand. Consider what your celebrity, your team best emulates. I want you to think about what celebrity that your team best emulates now. And I also want you to think about what you want them to emulate. What do you want your team to emulate in the future? And see if there's a difference there. And start making plans on ways that you can be your best brand ambassador for your own business and for your team. Now, I will, if you're in this training in our Love Leader group, I'm going to be asking throughout the week information, and our other Love Leaders will be asking you to share who your celebrity is that best emulates your team, or that you want to emulate your team. We're going to be asking what your brand looks like. What do you make customers feel like? What is does your page, when you go to it on Facebook, look like you sell Scentsy, that you love Scentsy? Do you share it? So we are going to be asking those questions and really kind of dig down to your brand and your team's brand and make sure that this strategy and your brand is solid. Because once it's solid, then you can really be moving forward with other marketing strategies, and you can be solidifying your scalable systems and your customer service and booking your parties. But let's start with the consistency of a great brand that is positive, consistent, and that has all of those values that you want to have as a great entrepreneur and as a fantastic brand. Thanks so much for watching. Help me say goodbye to Santa Antigua. Tomorrow we're going to be in St. Lucia. Next we'll be in Barbados. Another day at sea, enjoying all of our friends and family and soaking up the beautiful Caribbean sun. So we will see you back all soon. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk soon. And please make plans to be on the next Scentsy incentive trip because they are amazing. Okay, love to you all. Bye.